YouTube family, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Hope y'all are doing well. And if this is your first time joining, welcome. Here I primarily talk about fragrances, but also sprinkle in some fashion and lifestyle content as well. So I need you to do me a favor, go ahead, subscribe, then make sure you hit the bell to stay notified anytime I post any new content. This will really help the channel continue to grow, and I greatly appreciate it. And today, back with another fragrance video, y'all, but we're switching it up a little bit. So for the first time, I'm going to do a top 10 video. And this is going to be the top 10 fragrances that I purchased this year, so in 2024. And have a variety of fragrances on here, y'all. Everything from designer, we have a few niche, and even have some, clone or inspired by fragrances as well. So hitting all, price points, all, varieties. So hopefully there's something on here that you all, can enjoy or may have picked up yourself and can, leave a comment below to talk a little bit about it. Get things kicked off, and y'all, this is in no particular order. So again, just my favorite 10 purchases from this year in 2024, but no specific order, not ranking them or anything like that. But we're gonna get things kicked off with Afternoon Splash from Alexandria Fragrances. And if you don't know, this one is inspired by Louis Vuitton's Afternoon Swim. So essentially what you get with this one is sort of a sweet mandarin orange, get some ambergris to dry down, but that's really about it, right? It's about that sweet orange that is just done beautifully in this fragrance. And again, you get a little, ambergris and some saltiness as it dries down. But y'all, this one smells amazing. Oh man, yeah, this is a really good one. Again, I have smelled the original. I think this one is pretty close. Also performs very well. Kind of get 7+ hours, which I think is really good. For a fresh or a fragrance that is more based around citrus. So, Afternoon Splash, y'all, it's a good one. I'm not sure if the cameras can pick it up, but got a pretty good dent gone already, and I just picked this one up actually right before the summer this year. So didn't even get a full spring and summer with it. So definitely looking forward to some warmer weather, coming back around next year and really getting to wear this one because it's just a joy to wear. It's one that is nice, easy going, smells amazing. Again, getting things started, Afternoon Splash by Alexandria Fragrances. Next up on the list, y'all, we have Hugo Boss, the Scent Elixir, and man, oh man, is this a good one, y'all. So I do have a full review of this one on my page, and within that review, I mentioned that this was my favorite release of 2024, so this one did come out this year, and I still feel the same way about it, y'all. This one, it just smells so good, it performs very well, and it's just a scent profile that I really enjoy. So you get that warm spiciness here. A lot of brands are switching over to that 3-note breakdown, so I think the only notes that are listed are lavender, I think you get some pimento, pepper, and then you get sandalwood in a dry down. And of course you pick up on those things, but anyone that's familiar with the scent line, you also pick up on that maninka fruit as well. So slightly fruity, slightly fresh in the opening, but then you get that, blast of spice, dries down to a nice, creamy, warm sandalwood. Does, remind me a little bit of Spice Bomb. I think it's the infrared EDP, just slightly, just to kind of give you an idea if you've never smelled this one. But all in all, y'all, this one smells amazing. And again, my favorite designer release of 2024 and one of my favorite purchases of this year, hands down. Again, smells amazing, performs very well, and pretty versatile for, having the level of spice that it does. So definitely had to add this one. Let's keep things rolling on. Next up, we got Gucci's Intense Oud. And I mean, look at the presentation. Beautiful bottle, beautiful presentation, but talking about how this one actually smells, y'all. So this is an older release. I think it came out in 2016, and I had sampled it a number of times, but I've never owned a full bottle of it, and I was very, very happy to get my hands on it this year finally. This one, again, I have a full review on my page. To me, one of the best, if not the best, designer oud fragrances ever. So essentially what you get with this one, of course, you get some oud, but more than that, you get amber, incense, some saffron. Even has a leathery kind of touch and feel as it dries down. And of course, you also get this kind of fruity sweetness in the opening as well. So like I said, really nice amber spice with the incense and saffron, leather. This one is beautiful, y'all. And it's very, to me, for an oud fragrance, very wearable. And, one that can be a great option for someone that's just getting into fragrances or more, just getting into oud fragrances. So again, was super happy to pick this one up, picked it up for a pretty good price. And I'm not sure if it's, discontinued as a whole because you can't really find it. At least I wasn't able to find it on Gucci's actual website. So you will have to kind of go to, you know, some of the fragrance discounters and things like that to pick it up. But super great pickup. Again, if you're someone that's just getting into oud or someone that loves oud, I think you can appreciate this one. And next, y'all, moving over to a fragrance house that did some really great things this year. We have Joe Milano's Game of Spades High Roller. And this is their take on Creed's Absolu Aventus, which, if you're not familiar with that one or the scent profile in general, essentially just add some warm spices to that original or OG Creed Aventus. So very nice fragrance profile in general, super wearable. I think you can wear, you know, this fragrance pretty much all 4 seasons, maybe with the exception of super high heat. But outside of that, again, I think this one gets the job done. And I think Joe Milano did a really great did a really great job with this one. It smells really, really good, y'all. And, you know, when comparing it to the original, I'd say there are minor differences. You know, the original, I think the pineapple is a little bit more noticeable, whereas in this one, get a little bit more of the citruses, the grapefruit, things like that. But all in all, as this one drives down, y'all, smells really good, smells really close to the original, and it's just a really good fragrance. And, you know, when you factor in the price, I think it makes it even that much better. So if you haven't checked out anything from Joe Milano, or if you're someone that's interested in kind of Creed's, you know, Aventus or maybe Absolu Aventus, would definitely recommend checking this one out, y'all. It's a great fragrance. And next up on the list, y'all, we have Joe Milano's Game of Spades Wildcard. And, you know, I warned you, I mentioned that Joe Milano was doing some great things, right? This one is just phenomenal, y'all. From opening through dry down, this one is amazing. Of course, it's inspired by Bond No. 9's Lafayette Street. And if you're not familiar with that one, essentially a sweet, fresh, floral fragrance. So you have some apple and bergamot, I think, in the opening. You get some coriander here, then it dries down and it's nice. Vanilla, you know, tonka bean, some musk in there, I think. Just a really nice, easy to wear fragrance. Signature scent worthy. Again, this profile is one that just works well really all year, all scenarios, all settings. The thing about this one here is, and the reason why I say it's their best is because when considering, you know, inspired by clone dupe fragrances, one thing to keep in mind is, you know, it's very rare or really almost impossible that, you know, you're going to get a complete one-to-one, right? In terms of the quality, the, you know, performance, the actual smell from opening through mid, through dry down, right? There's always going to be, you know, little differences that are here and there. And again, it's never going to be exactly spot on, and that's fine, right? You kind of got to have that expectation. But every now and then, you know, you get those fragrances that are just, you know, as spot on as I think you can get. And I think Game of Spades Wildcard is one of those fragrances. For someone that's a fan of sweeter fragrances that don't feel youthful and kind of have that elegance to them, got you. JPG's Le Male Elixir. This one is beautiful, y'all. So it's been a while since I purchased a Jean Paul Gaultier fragrance. I'll be honest, just wasn't the biggest fan of, you know, kind of a lot of the previous releases, or have had things that were very similar in regard to, you know, the scent profile. So just haven't purchased, you know, them in quite a bit of time. I'd say it's been years easily. But when I came across this one, y'all, beautiful. It's so beautiful. And I think this one was actually released in 2023, but I'll say one of the better designer fragrance releases of the past few years, in my opinion. Of course, you get this honey, tobacco, and tonka bean. That's really, I'd say, kind of the star players in this one. You also get some vanilla as well, but it's warm, it's sweet, it's slightly powdery, but it still has this elegant feel. And I'm not sure if you all, you know, if you own this one, if you get it as well, but in addition to that warm sweetness, powderiness, I also get this sort of chocolate feel or chocolate touch as well. Could be coming from the tonka bean, but all in all, again, y'all, this one is beautiful, performs great. If you haven't smelled it yet, I would say definitely make sure you get your nose on this one soon. Okay, we've been through 6 fragrances, y'all. We got 4 remaining, and next we have a cheap but good one. We got Afnan, Supremacy, and Oud. In terms of bang for buck, y'all, it doesn't get much better than this one here. You get really great quality, really great performance, and just an amazing smelling fragrance. And for those of you that may not know, this one is actually inspired by Initio's Oud for Greatness. So again, you get that deep, kind of warm, spicy, with slightly, you know, woodiness, I'd say, or you know, kind of that oud touch, but more of the wearable oud side for sure. And this one, of course, does mirror that. Smells very similar to the original. However, with this one, you get the additional fruity sweetness from, I think it's called fruity or sweet notes that are up top. So kind of adds a bit more to it, and I think makes this one a little more approachable and maybe even more wearable for some. But all in all, you get a fragrance that just smells amazing, y'all. And again, performs really well, smells really, good, especially for the price point, and kind of hard to beat, like I said, from a bang for buck perspective. So if you've never checked this one out and you like Initio's Oud for greatness, then you might want to get your nose on this one, y'all. Afnan, Supremacy, and Oud. Down to the final three, y'all. And Kilian's Angel Share is probably one of my favorite scent profiles. So that warm spiciness with the boozy touch, kind of like a warm apple pie, with some booziness as well. Just smells amazing, right? And as good as that one is, I still haven't purchased a full bottle yet. And the reason why is because I'm still working through this fragrance here. So this is from Parfums Vintage, y'all, and it's called Splendiferous Supreme. That's a mouthful for you, right? But y'all, this one is, of course, inspired by Kilian's Angel Share. And again, from a scent profile perspective, this one nails it. You get the warm, spicy sweetness, that booziness as well. This one smells amazing and it performs very well. So I have a number of fragrances from Parfums Vintage. It's a fragrance house that is primarily known for their inspired by our clone fragrances, but to me, what sets them apart from, many of the others is the performance, right? So, of course, the scent profile, the scent DNA, that's there, but these perform very well. So with this fragrance, I only spray it on usually 2 or 3 times max, and I'm getting, 8 to 9 hours or more, and, really good projection. So again, Kilian's Angel Share, definitely one of my favorite fragrances and one I plan on purchasing. However, I picked up this one this year and it's worked really well and kind of giving me some time to, save up and pick up for that one. So definitely would recommend this one if you're in a similar situation and, really enjoy Kilian's Angel Share. This might be one that you want to check. Okay, y'all, getting towards the end of the list here. And I know I mentioned that I wasn't ranking these in any specific order, but if I was, this one would be number 1 on the list. Y'all, we got Sun Force by the Harmonist, and this one just smells amazing, y'all. It's a beautiful scent. Opens up with some pomelo, but then it quickly goes from kind of fresh to adding some warm spiciness as well. So you get some honey, some cardamom, some saffron. There's even rose in here. Just a beautiful scent that is a little complex in terms of the note breakdown, but just smells amazing. It's unique while still being approachable and easy to enjoy, and I think that's something hard to accomplish, whether, niche fragrance or designer, right? So this one just does a really great job. Of course, it performs very well, and for me at least, it can be a unique take on a signature scent because, again, that pomelo keeps it fresh enough where you can wear it in warmer weather, but this definitely has enough depth, enough sweetness, enough spice to work well in cooler months as well. So it was one that obviously I was highly intrigued by after, sampling a number from the Harmonist. Definitely plan to pick up a few more as well, but this one just spoke the most to me. Again, has that versatility while still being unique and just smells absolutely amazing, y'all. We got the Harmonist Sun Force. Again, not ranking these in any particular order, but if I was, this would probably be number 1. Last but not least, y'all, we have another 2024 release, and it's one that I recommend highly for date night, any of those intimate settings, anytime you're going to be spending time with that special someone, and that's Haramain's Amber Oud Dew by Night. Y'all, this one is just a beautiful scent. So it has some rose, you get some amber, you also get some saffron, then you get a touch of vanilla and just a bit of oud as it dries down. Again, y'all, a beautiful, very romantic, very sensual fragrance. This is one, again, I think for date nights or any special situations that you're hitting out with your, significant other or that special someone. This one's going to work well, and it's also very reasonable, right? So you can find this one for around or less than $50 in most situations. So at that price, again, was just an amazing pickup, one that is certified for me in terms of, being a date night fragrance. It's one of the best that I think released this year, and one that I'm looking forward to, continuing to get a chance to rock. So definitely would recommend if you haven't got your nose on this one. Again, the Haramain Amber Oud collection in general, they don't really miss. A lot of those fragrances within that collection are really good. And this one, of course, continues that trend. So we definitely recommend checking out Haramain's Amber Oud Dew by Night. There you go. I'm just going to wrap up today's review. So I want to take a moment to thank you all for tuning in and watching. Greatly appreciate it. And again, those were my 10 favorite fragrances that I purchased this year in 2024. So you all could do me a favor, leave a comment below. Let me know some of your favorite pickups of this year. Love to hear a little bit more about those. And as always, until next time, peace and love.